My sister skipped meeting my baby for a concert.
I mean, was it Taylor?
Yeah,
if it's Taylor Swift and it's like front row seats, I mean, come on, I'm missing that baby.
This is a very long story. Sorry in advance. There are so many details. I, 34 female, am originally from Toronto, Canada. I was born and raised there until I was 14 and then moved to Seattle, Washington, where I currently live. My dad moved here with my ex-stepmom years ago and my half-sister. By the way, this comes from Think Discussion 862. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my relationship with my dad has always been pretty shallow. He's not one to talk about a lot of deep topics, and throughout my childhood, he wasn't very present. But I have concluded my relationship with him won't be deep, and I have accepted it for what it is. My half-sister, 24 female, and I have a very good relationship. We've texted and talked on the phone often, usually texting daily and talking on the phone weekly.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
It's lovely. Since we were young, I felt the need to protect her. Her mom, my ex-stepmom, and our dad used to fight a lot, to the point of the cops being called and parents going to jail for the night. That's more than fighting a lot. Whoa. Because of this, her sense of stability in the parents wasn't really there. I wanted to be something stable for her. Since then, we've grown and she moved back to Toronto with her mom and I stayed in Seattle, but I always wanted to see her, so I bought her plane tickets for her to come visit me and I bought flights to go see her in Toronto, along with other family that lives there. And when she's here, I want to spoil her, so we go to cafes, have lunches, go to events, get matching sister tattoos. I take her shopping. I've even bought her a trip to Australia as a gift, and those are pricey. I give her cash as gifts. I buy her jewelry, the books and shoes she wants, etc. I'm trying to be there for her by providing experiences and giving her things she needs/wants.
That's really, really nice.
Lovely. And I'm sad about the title because you seem like you're a great sister.
Yeah.
Now my story begins after I had a baby in September 2023. I told my family right away when I found out I was pregnant 8 months earlier and told them the due date. Everyone was excited for the first grandchild. My dad had been asking for years when I'd have a baby and when he'd become a grandfather. Fast forward to having the baby. She was born early September and my mom came to help 1 month before the baby was born and stayed for a month after she was born. Great mom. During that time, my half-sister expressed that she should be with me right after I gave birth. I told her I could help her pay for her plane ticket, or if she needed, I could pay for it entirely. She said she needed a few days and she'd get back to me. Eventually, she said she can't come because she couldn't take time off work and can't afford it. But we already know that the sister was going to pay for it.
But like, I mean,
time
saying
off work,
I can't get time off work, I think,
that's a bit more reasonable.
That could be a bit more reasonable. Yeah. If it's true, if you're not a dirty, stinky liar.
Didn't make sense to me since I offered to pay for her flight, but I let it go. My dad told me in mid-September 2023, he's going to take a trip to New Zealand. He lives in the US too, but in the state of Georgia. And he booked it for October for 16 days. I was kind of confused. He'd travel around the world before meeting my daughter, but figured he just needed to travel. He's always wanted to go to New Zealand. Sometimes you got to take a trip before you become a grandfather.
Yeah.
He told my half-sister about his trip, and she mentioned she was going to quit her job in December, and if he postpones his trip till after she quits, she'll go with him. Fun.
Okay.
He did this and moved their trip to the first 2 weeks in January 2024. I was happy they could go together and didn't think much of it. I still figured they'd come visit before that trip. Then October 2023 comes, and my sister tells me about weekend-long concerts she's been going to in Montreal, and she has to take time off work for it. And this is where I start to get confused and hurt.
Off work for your weekend-long concert, but you won't take time off for my baby?
Ridiculous.
That's the coolest concert around. You can hear me screaming and my baby screaming. It's like a little like Queen concert, like, wow.
And then I'm gonna cry anyway.
Yeah.
She did this twice and took weekend-long trips to concerts and raves. She stayed in Montreal and hotels, etc. This just didn't align with her saying she had no time off to see me and no money. Then she mentioned these tickets to Portugal are cheap and she's going to buy them for the upcoming year.
Dude, she was just saying she can't afford travel. This is BS.
This is stupid. Yeah,
and after
this is stupid.
all the trips that I've got,
this is how you treat me?
Yeah, how
this
dare
is how
you
you pay me back on the day of my child's birth?
No respect.
I think she should travel, but it's starting to hurt more because it feels like meeting my daughter isn't a priority. In November 2023, I asked my dad if he'll come visit anytime soon. He says he can't. He uses every excuse every time I ask him. I can't because the property, I need to fix something. Or I have to build a fence and go to this meeting about it. What?
I have to build a fence is a crazy excuse.
Yeah, she's like, hey, are you going to come meet my baby? And he's like, I've got to build a fence.
I got to cook the water. You know, the water's not going to cook itself.
I eventually gave up asking him. Then I found out my half-sister went down to Georgia to visit our dad in November 2023, and she took off work for that, which all hurt again.
Oh.
My dad and half-sister then flew to New Zealand in January 2024, early February 2024. My sister did come out to visit us and meet my daughter. At this point, she's 5 months old, and I'm happy she's here. My dad eventually makes it out to see us in May 2024 when my daughter is 8.5 months old. That's insane to me. Like, as a grandparent, but also just like a parent, to not want to immediately come out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that like the family isn't
for, like, the
prioritizing OP at all. I mean, it's really sad, honestly.
Mid-July 2024, my daughter is 10 months old now. I talk to my half-sister and tell her I'm hurt because meeting my daughter didn't seem like a priority for her.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks, she's very defensive, telling me, nothing big happened to you. You just had a baby.
That is like one of the most important things that you...
Was that sarcastic?
That is one of the most important things.
What is bigger than having a baby?
Through.
What is like, all right, I feel like it goes like, actually question, would you rather miss someone's marriage? All right, you have a marriage and a baby at the same day. Would you rather go to...
I'd probably go to the wedding.
The wedding over the baby?
Depending on who. Well, who are they?
It's me, but in 2 parallel universes.
It's you, but in 2 parallel universes.
Yeah, so you're either choosing between seeing the birth of my child or...
Am I in the room?
You can, if you want to.
Well, I guess
Sam's birthing the child.
Yeah. Let's assume that you have full autonomy.
I'm fully in the room.
You're fully in the room. You got
and I'm also
front row tickets.
I'm your
to
maid
the crowning
of honor
of the baby,
and I'm in the room.
Yes, you're my maid of honor, and you're in the room. Which one do you go?
I think if I'm your maid of honor, I have to be there for you.
Oh, it's true. Like you have a responsibility.
I have responsibilities.
That's true.
I'm not birthing the baby.
What if you're the doula of the baby? You're the maid of honor, and you're
I'm
the doula.
delivering the baby.
You're delivering the baby.
Whoa. Okay, so I'm the midwife
you're the
and
midwife
also the maid of honor.
And the maid of honor. Which one do you go?
Well, if I'm the midwife, I have to be the midwife.
Yeah, fair.
But if I'm just in the room and I'm also your maid of honor,
you're still going to be an auntie.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I wasn't the midwife, I would choose to be your maid of honor.
Yeah, fair.
But if I am the midwife, then I got to be in the room.
Yeah.
And that I'm acting like I died and that I should be upset with myself because my expectations are so high that I'm going to lose everyone I love.
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
they called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads and could not trade my lunch for a lunch. Really anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Ooh, I heard that 60 plus hours of members only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
When I point out that she had the time off work because she went to all the concerts and visited our dad, she said she barely had the time off, and those were spur of the moment trips. I point out that she works part-time. Her job isn't full-time, and she always gets 3-day weekends. Oh my God. Could she have come to visit for a 3-day weekend? She said the price of the ticket wasn't worth it for only visiting 3 days.
Ugh.
Which I don't understand. I know she'd rather be here for a week, but I even offered to pay for the ticket. And when I pointed that out, she said she just didn't want to ask me to pay for it. She would have rather I just paid for it without having to ask her. She's like, why didn't you ask me?
It's such a burden. Just read my mind.
Still confuses me. Then when I pointed out how she had said no money, but she works, and our dad also gives her $1,000 a month just to do whatever she wants, she said how she spends her own money is her own business, not mine. This went on for 3 weeks. And then
3 weeks of this bickering?
Wow. Then she told our dad we were arguing, and he called me and said I needed to fix things because I'm the older sibling. And that if I don't, he's going to consider changing his will.
I don't like when people threaten their will.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
lame.
come on. Like,
Get a grip.
wait until I pass away.
Yeah, I'll show you. You're not getting a thing.
Yeah. This went on for 3 weeks. Then she told her dad we were arguing, and he called me saying I needed to fix it because I'm the older sibling, and that if I don't, he's going to consider changing his will. And he was considering coming to live in Seattle to be around me and my family. And now he's not because I'm tearing his family apart. That's so lame. Like, oh, well, I was thinking about moving there to be with you and your child, but now, no, I don't think I will. And Opie's like, you never told me that.
Yeah, and also like it's like you're having the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know, you're like doing exactly the insane, terrible behavior that you've always wanted to do, while getting the benefit of like maybe I would have if you hadn't been so mean.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
I would
lame.
have done it. But you know what you guys should do? Listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. Don't do it right now. Stay where you are. But if you're watching this in the future,
Do it then.
there's a little bit more to the story. I hung up the phone on my dad. He hasn't talked to me since that phone call, which was back in August 2024. My half-sister apologized briefly. I told her I'm not happy being treated this way, and she
Dude, she's
blew
a
up
lame-o.
on me again and went straight back into being defensive, and then told me it's not worth having a relationship with me if we're gonna keep doing this.
I feel like did something
Okay,
happen?
arguing.
I feel like there's
Yeah,
some
why is she so-
information because
Yeah.
they were great for years. I feel like there's some information that we're not getting.
So I'm wondering, Reddit fam, should I have just kept my mouth shut? Am I the a-hole? Are my expectations of my family too high? Okay. And there are some comments to finish this off. Comment 1 says, some people just aren't baby people, and your sister is in the prime 20s. Face it, they did come to see the baby, but their lives are not baby-centered like yours is. Okay, that's no. I think that's a stupid thing to say, because even if you
It's
don't like
meaningful.
babies,
It's meaningful.
you
to them.
don't have to be there to see the baby. You can be there to support your sister and your daughter, who is actively going through one of the most painful experiences of maybe her life.
Yeah, and it's about supporting someone
Yeah.
through their milestones.
It's really-
and to not support someone
Yeah.
through that milestone feels like just like you don't care about them.
It's only 50% about this baby. It's also about 50% about supporting the person who's birthing the child.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sure what dad's problem is, but my sister is aware that going to concerts and lots of fun adult activities are probably not going to happen now that baby is here. It was okay to tell them your feelings once, but stop bringing it up and move on with your life. You have your own family now, and your dad and sister seem to be doing okay. They'll come to visit on their own time. Meanwhile, enjoy your baby and keep your conversations positive. I disagree with that comment.
Enjoy your baby and yeah.
Like, oh yeah, your family's living their life, but like you can't be upset. I don't agree with that.
I mean, I think like
I think in terms of, maybe you don't have to actively reach out to them because they're clearly not showing an effort. But
yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe that's good advice. Like, don't hold on to the hate. But I really think maybe that means you see now where you fall in the priority wheel of your
Exactly.
family, and now take that information into how you want to treat them going forward.
Yeah. Comment 2, not the a-hole. I would be hurt too. Here I was bummed that my mom and sister waited a week to come see me after my baby, and they only waited that long because they'd been sick. Your expectations are not too high, especially since you were going to pay for your sister's ticket. It sounds like surely there was more going on, or has your relationship with your sister always been one-sided? OP says, if there was something more going on, they haven't told me. The relationship has been this one-sided, but I figured it's because our age gap and she's so much younger. But I've always been the one to pay for our experiences and gifts, be there for graduations, etc. She has never come visit me for a big life event. And I even had a wedding dress fitting in Toronto, and she still couldn't make it. I think I'm realizing it was just more of a one-sided relationship.
That
That would be really sad.
That's really, really sad.
I'll be there for your groomsmen fitting.
Yeah. Unless Isabella's having a baby.
Yeah. Comment 3 says, not the a-hole. Your sister growing up in that chaotic environment and being in her 20s. I can see her responses and behavior being like this. I'm in my 20s. I wouldn't pull this behavior.
Yeah, but you're like your mid-20s now.
Lil sis will hopefully get a reality check one day, but your dad also still seems to be unstable with his behavior and priorities, especially after bugging you about grandkids. His gaslighting and putting blame on you is unreal. So sorry. Enjoy your new little one. And Opie replies, I've learned to deal with my dad like this. It's not the first time he's done this. Thank you for your insight. I never really thought our upbringing could be impacting my sister in this situation, but it definitely could be. And that is the end of that story. Man, oh man, yeah, your sister and your dad
Really
kind of
sad.
so.
Yeah. it's sad.
Yeah.
But I
She's
think
not
like
there for you. And now you know that these people are not going to prioritize you. And just like, no, going forward, you know what? No more paying for flights. And your sister's going to realize that she was relying on you a lot and hopefully, you know, get some sense